Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we're doing something a little different. I decided that I wanted to do a sketchbook session with just me drawing some cool Genshin characters. This time this is mostly from the Mondstadt characters. So if you enjoy this video, then I might do Liyue and probably Inazuma. The first person I'm working on is Mona. So right now I'm using some alcohol markers to color in the purple part of her hair, and then I'm just darkening it with a black pen. I don't really know a lot about Mona. I did a quest of her recently. I also started playing Genshin again after taking a long break because my tablet ran out of space. I couldn't play it there, so I had to re-download it on my PC. And I've been having a good time. I've been trying to speedrun Inazuma so I could get to the new region, Shimaru. So right now I'm just coloring in Mona's colors. I do have to say, if the colors look a bit off, it's probably because I didn't have the exact color of the character, but I had some colors close to it. I'm still trying to grow my alcohol marker set, and since Copic markers are so expensive, I've been trying to switch over between Copics and Artist Loft, just to save a little extra cash. So if the colors don't look exact, it's probably because I don't have the exact colored alcohol markers. So I'm just using another color that's kind of similar to it. As you can see here, I'm coloring her hat. For that pinkish color, it's actually like a very light purple, but when I swatched it, it kind of looked very pinky. So I decided to color over it with the darker purple so that her hat could look very similar to the hat in the game. Again, I'm just using that light purple color to color the cloak, and then I'm using the bright red for the inside rim of her hat. And that's pretty much it for the coloring. Oh yeah, I forgot her eyebrows as well. So I was just coloring the red details and everything. And of course, I don't have like a black marker, so I had to use like this black lining pen that I got from 5 and Below to darken up some of the colors. Then for Amber, I'm coloring her brown hair. I think Amber had the most similar color from my alcohol collection, so I just used the light brown to give like a highlight, and then I colored it over with the dark brown you typically would see with Amber, just to give it some texture. Yeah, so that's what I'm basically doing. For Amber, Amber is a free character. I do love her character design. As for her praying style, not so much. Well, I guess that's kind of my fault because I'm not really good with archer characters, so I only use Amber and like maybe Fischl if I have to. But if I don't need to, then I would rather use like a sword user or a claymore user. I'm really bad at aiming, so that's probably the reason why I'm not really good with archers, and probably the reason why I don't usually use archers unless I absolutely have to. I remember one of the recent quests I did for Inazuma, we had to do like an archer quest, and we had to like shoot like these little fake people in like 2 minutes, and I had to do that quest over like 10 times because I had such a hard time aiming right, especially in the time. And then it was like lightning in the game, and the lightning kept hitting Amber every time I tried to aim for like the target, which was very stressful, especially since I'm kind of like speedrunning the game, so I'm kind of just like doing it so I could get to the new region. So yeah, I'm just using the gray, my only Copic sketch marker that I have. I'm just using that as like to shade and stuff, and then of course I'm using a fine liner to line out some of the edges so that I could look neater and not as messy. I know it's supposed to be a sketch, but I also don't want it to look like very like not neat. So I kind of just using the fine liner just to get some of that detail in. Any detail that is lost, I also use the fine liner there. So yeah, that's basically it for now. I also want to do like more sketchbook sessions for my channel, but I sketch really slow. In fact, this is like I use 4 speed for all the video footage because I sketch extremely slow, and because of that the video footage becomes too big for my editing software, so I have to use my phone, which surprisingly has a lot more space than my tablet and my computer, so because I just upgraded to a new phone. So that's the only reason why I was able to get this video out like somewhat on time. Also, I'm using like this gold marker for any of the gold details. I got it recently from one of my local craft shops, and I absolutely love it. I actually got it to replace the old gold marker that dried out a while ago. And then I'm just adding details to the eyes. I usually do the eyes last because they're my favorite part, and I feel like if I do them first, I might lose interest in like the actual like sketch. So I did them last. I went over and I added some fine line details to Amber. Same as Mona, the same thing. Any detail that is lost, I just add them in, and just using the marker and everything. If anybody's wondering, I probably use 1.0 for the outside lines and maybe 0.6 for like the face details. I can't remember exactly, and I can't remember exactly which ones, but I feel like that's something I would use for the outer details and the inner details, because I only have a few fine lighters with me right now, because I only brought a couple of them to school, mostly for Inktober, also for little sketches like this. And I'm using this like very inky fine liner. I don't know what size it is. I got it at my local craft store, and it makes really good eyelash details for anime characters. It's just as very inky, and you have to let it dry a little bit before you could do the eyes, or else it's gonna smudge. As you can see, for the bottom of Amber eye, I think I smudged it a little bit. And I'm going back with the gold detail for Amber stuff, which is pretty cool because Amber had a lot of gold detail too, so it really made everything pop. I'm adding more gold details to the bottom, and that's it for those two. Stick around for the end for the final product. So the next set of characters are Diona and Klee. I decided to do more of the childlike characters at the bottom. I also had the most colors for those two, and I wanted to fill up the space. So that's what I did. For Diona, I went in with the light purple that looks like pink for the highlights, and then I went back over with the darker pink so that it could actually look like her hair. I'm using Artist Loft because I don't have a lot of Copic markers like I said before, and I recently got more markers from Artist Loft. They don't sell me Copics or like alcohol markers where I'm from, so when I go to the States I usually stock up, but I was too nervous to ask like the lady the counter to open like the lock section for the Copics at Michael's. So I was like, you know what, I don't want to have attention to myself, like, hey, this girl is splurging on very expensive alcohol markers. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna get Artist Loft because they're not locked away, and they do a similar thing. Obviously Copic is better because Copic is more expensive, but it has a lot better ink. But I feel like for like little sketches like these, Artist Loft works just fine if you know how to use it right. I forgot to draw in Diona's tail when I did the beginning sketch, so I had to pretend like the tail is there and kind of make like a general shape of the tail. For Klee, I'm using like a light brown color, and I'm going to shade it with the darker brown color. Not as much as Amber, obviously, because Klee's hair is more of a blonde rather than a brown. So I'm just using a little bit just to get some more details into the hair. Klee's colors were a lot similar to the markers I had, which is really good because I didn't want the characters to look off. Diona, of course, is a different story. I mean, I had the pink and I had like the ear and tail colors, but her outfit is a bit off. I believe the brown cloak I have over her shoulders is orange, and I think that pink is supposed to be a bit darker, and the blue on her collar is supposed to be a navy blue. So if anybody's wondering why it looks strange, is because I didn't have the colors. Of course, I went in with the red for Klee. I had the exact color red that I needed, which was great because it actually makes Klee a lot more like noticeable, and it looks a lot like Klee compared to probably Diona. I used the brown for her details on her cloak, and I colored in her hand with a lighter brown to represent her gloves. Then I used the darker brown to color in her backpack from the back. I almost forgot it actually. And then I shaded in some more of her red colors for her outfit. For Diona, I went back and I did her eyebrows because I forgot. And I kept going back and forth to Klee, adding in her details, and then I started doing the lining, the black lining. I wish I had like a different color lining besides black, because it kind of like sullied the hair, made it look more muddy. But unfortunately that's the only color liner I had at the time, so I just went in with the black and hope for the best. I mean, it's a sketch in my sketchbook, so it doesn't really bother me as it would probably for other people. I just used what supplies I had at that time, and since black was the only liner I had, I just had to go with it. So yeah, I'm doing in the details, and I'm adding like the pouty sign for Diona to give her more character. And then I went in with the liquidy fine liner for the eyelashes. As I said before, I really like this eyeliner for anime eyes because it really does make it bold and shapely. So then I went in with Klee and I did her fine liners. I really liked lining out the character. I usually don't like the lining part or like doing the line art, but it's kind of easier when you have to go in with the color first and then do the line art. It makes it a lot more attractive to see it all come together rather than seeing the line art by itself and be like, oh, this doesn't look good, and then coloring it like, okay, this looks a little better. So if you want a tip of being more encouraged to do line art, definitely do the coloring first. It helps with your confidence, and it helps with being more encouraged to finish the art. Okay, so we're almost done with the fine lining. I'm doing the details on Klee's face. I'm doing the hand, which I do have to say that's probably one of the best hands I drew from this sketchbook spread. Like I said before, I really want to do more sketchbook sessions because I enjoy sketching in my sketchbook, but I don't get a lot of time to do it often. So I feel like having this as a series would encourage me to do it much more at more timely manners. But the problem is I sketch really slow, like I said before, and it's kind of hard to keep all that footage in one place and not take up storage on my phone or my tablet or my computer. And I have to also speed it up because or else you will have like an hour-long sketchbook session. And I know some people don't mind that, but for me, I feel like a YouTube video shouldn't be more than 20-something minutes because your attention span is not that. Like for me, I know I don't stay on a YouTube video for more than 20 minutes because that's just too long unless I have to do it for school. So I have to speed it up, and that also still takes up a lot of space. So I don't know if I could do a sketchbook session as often as I want to, but I'll try and see what I can come up with as a storage issue. You don't really think about these things until you actually start a YouTube channel, unfortunately. So that's pretty much it. I'm doing the final touches, and I'm going to see you in a bit with the final product. Okay, bye-bye.